We are live! Welcome to the weekly poll, everyone! As usual, or not as usual, if you've been here in the last 2 weeks, because I haven't been, I'm Benny the Comicstorian, dramatically reading your favorite comic books on YouTube, now to over 1 million subscribers. And then, let's get right into the other host!
Oh my god, don't even start that shit.
We got Rob from Comics Explained, calm and coolly reading your favorite comic books to you in his Morgan Freeman wannabe voice. And we've got the amazing Caped Joel, who says Caped Joel, but he's not actually a superhero unless you consider him a superhero for reviewing every comic book in existence as he smacks them with Comic Smack. And
Sometimes
lastly,
it does
we
feel
have
that
Tiffany
way.
and a Pop-Tart. The Pop-Tart is more intellectual than Sal, and Tiffany is the best part of Comic Pop, as she has the best opinions.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
And there it is.
And now it's out
It's
there.
just out there now. It's just out there, yeah.
Float
Where
around.
Sal's ears are burning. He's like, are they talking about me? I feel like they're talking about me.
He's like, I
You're gonna
can't
see- you're
tell
gonna
if
see
that's
how
them
this-
talking about me or because I'm sick.
I was wondering why he wasn't here. I missed that part of the conversation. South
Yeah.
Street. Well, tell him to drag his ass out of bed and get on the damn podcast.
Okay,
Right?
so before we get to the actual topic list, if you were just here 2 seconds ago when I was talking about it, so basically, if you go to the Eligible Monster channel, which is a gaming channel that me, Rob, and Natalie all run, and bring you amazing content every week, you know, you should go subscribe over there. Anyway, Eligible Monster, I just streamed for an hour and 10 minutes the Batman VR game, and I'm not
I need to
gonna
watch
lie.
that.
And so here's what I was just telling them. So 6 months ago, all of my friends in the gaming world were like, you got to get VR, man. It's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, it's bullshit. I literally was like, it is the worst thing ever. It's going to be just like Vita, just like motion control.
It's a gimmick.
Just like another gimmick thing. I was like, just like the tablet stuff, where it's going to look the coolest thing ever until you try it, and then it's not going to work right. And then it's going to be like, well, it would be cool if it worked. Which is always what, you know, the motion gaming and all that other stuff. That's how I felt about that. Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
There's some good salty snacks there, Rob.
So-
Dude, what are you doing?
So I literally was 100% against it. And I wasn't even going to buy it, but I went to my local GameStop last week before we went to New York Comic Con, and the guy was like, hey, we're getting those VR systems in. Did you want it? And now Rob and I are trying to work with Natalie to relaunch the gaming channel. So I was like, well, you know what? It'd probably be worth a video or two if I do like I did with the Pokemon Go watch, and I say why VR sucks after I get it. You know, what is wrong with it? And I'm not gonna lie. So I got it last night from my buddy who picked it up while we were out of town, and I've been playing this thing nonstop. Like I have not been glued to a video game thing in like 3 or 4 years until this. I like the motion
Interesting.
sickness. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. It 100% actually works, and it's a lot of fun. And you really feel immersed in the world that you're in. Some of the games are really shitty because there's like a shit ton out there I was playing through, you know? But that's not the VR itself. The VR itself is amazing, and if you want proof of that, Batman. The only issue we had with Batman is you control one hand, and whenever I was trying to reach around the belt to the other side, it would glitch sometimes. So I had to like get it to pick up the motion. But other than that, everything worked perfectly fine. It was amazing. And the Batman game, for the record, is amazing. It like you really feel like Batman. You're flinging batarangs. I'm throwing like the picture of your parents that threw it at Alfred, you know, and then and then
As we've all wanted to do.
yeah, you always say, Alfred, my parents.
But it's short is the thing I'm hearing, that the majority of these games are like really short, like 40 minutes tops.
They are. I did the 2 that I played in depth so far is Job Simulator. I was a store clerk for about an hour and a half. Did a really good job at it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Got a raise.
I can run a store. I did the chef mode. I'm really bad at that. Just everything ended up on the oven, and it was all just burning. Like
Benny is not a line cook, as it turns out.
no, not at
Gordon
all.
Ramsay would yell at him.
Oh, he definitely would. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wrong.
Okay.
Aren't they also doing a at least one space battle for Battlefront? Isn't it? I think it's the Battle of Yavin, but I could be wrong.
Right.
Oh.
Well, a lot of the VR stuff is the gimmick attempt at it, and I think this is the greatest idea PlayStation's ever had, because the last couple of gimmicks they tried to get you to buy by making unique games for it. And since it was a new technology, obviously it was hard to make it work right. And on top of that, now you're investing into a game that you have to go buy more games and stuff for. So you're like, oh, so much money. This is really smart because a lot of the games that I already have VR modes in them.
Right.
So I'm getting to just play these VR modes, and I go, this is amazing. I would buy games like this now.
right?
PlayStation VR also has the best name too. PlayStation VR. You know exactly what you're getting.
Right,
And
no
where it's
weird
coming
games like
from.
Oculus or Vibe or
Yeah,
Is it Vibe?
Yeah.
Is it Vibe? Is that what?
I think
Vibe.
so.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
If
the
it
one
is
that's like
Vibe, I
$800.
just now clicked that is also a superhero.
When we say vibe, we just mean Cisco Ramon comes to your house and hangs out with you for a little bit.
No, that's Vibe.
Oh, not Vibe. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the evil twin of Vibe.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I gotta.
That's the Earth 2 Vibe.
The only regret I have right now is the goddamn price tag on it. It's way expensive because you also need a PlayStation.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we already have the PlayStation. Like, how much is it without the PlayStation?
$500.
Like, if I just want to go, what?
Yeah, that's the problem with it right now.
Ah,
Yeah.
You can
Gotta
get the
be a
$400
rich-ass
model,
early
which
adopter.
just has the headset, which I guess you could do if you have a PlayStation 3 and a ton of accessories still. Or you can
Right.
buy the $500 model, which comes with 2 of the motion controllers, the camera, the demo disc, something else, and something else. It was like a $650 purchase, basically, for $500.
Right. Right.
But yeah, no, it's pretty insane.
Trust me, this is one of those things that like I want it inevitably. Inevitably, I want it. I want to do it. I just don't know who I want to go with.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, no, I if you gotta pick one of the VRs, I now would go with PlayStation, just because
Really?
they have an established install base and they have
That's
more
true.
games than anyone else.
That's true. That's true.
And from what I'm reading, and I don't know how true this is, so don't flip out at me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I hear it's
Here it
pretty
comes.
easy to port like the Oculus games to the PlayStation VR.
Interesting.
Oh.
So they're all kind of showing up. Because I know one that other YouTubers were playing a few months ago, Bloodhaven, is already at launch on PlayStation.
Right.
Nice.
So
Nice.
what are you doing?
All
Rob?
right.
You're muted, right?
He's reading something intently.
I'm trying to be sexy. Somebody in the chat was like, Rob looks sexy today. And I'm like, yes, I do. I'm trying to be like that
feature.
weird, creepy, sexy.
So I mean,
Another
but
feature
for
of the weekly poll show.
the Batman VR is incredible. If you want to watch, we already did the full game. It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Nice.
We didn't dick around too much. There was definitely more we could have done. But it was an hour and 20 minutes of us just kind of directly going to the ending. I would not say this is worth the purchase of a VR. But so far, I've yet to have a game that I'm disappointed in. And I'm telling you right now, I've tried a few of those horror games. If we ever play it, it will be so you can just laugh at me cowering in the corner. I'm just saying
Dude,
right now.
I bet it's horrifying.
I'm hearing great things
scary-
about Rush of Blood. That
I didn't do Rush of Blood. There's another one on there called... I forget what it was called. There's another one on there where you fight this like rat monster thing.
Right.
And you get into it, and you're just like there, and it's like creepy, and he's around you, and he's moving, and you're like,
is he big?
it's huge.
Would you call
He's
him
huge.
a rodent of unusual size?
I would call him that. Yes, Princess
The
Bride.
ROUSs, those damn ROUSs, man. Okay, so everybody in the chat right now, in the Twitch chat.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Some edumacation from
Oh,
Rob.
this Grippos?
You guys know what these are? Grippos. You guys know what Grippos? Yeah, see, Tiffany doesn't know what they are.
Neither do
Vinny
I.
doesn't, like Joel doesn't know what they are.
I don't know what it is.
Grippos are the greatest thing to ever be invented. And that's just all there is to it.
Shit.
Actually, I'm just before we completely move off the VR topic, Walking Bread. I'm telling you right now, when Resident Evil 7 comes out, I will personally fly Rob here.
No,
Tiffany's muted now.
I'm not. No, I am
You're
not
muted,
playing
Tiffany.
that game.
Tiffany's muted and talking to herself.
No, I was saying yes.
Oh.
I was letting you guys talk over it.
I will fly you over here, put the VR on you, and then just film you playing it.
Hold on.
I mean, geez, if Rob wanted to run in with a creepy redneck family, I think you both could just hang out in Kentucky for a bit, and I think you could find one of those.
Why do people in the Twitch chat not know what Grippos is?
Okay,
See, it's
because
not just
nobody knows who it is.
That's
what it is.
we don't have
Grippos,
it.
no. Grippos, oh my god.
Are they potato
Rob,
based?
we travel a lot. Have you ever seen Grippos anywhere except where you are?
Well, they are based out of Ohio, out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, they are kind of a regional thing. Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're missing
Grippos
out. You're
comics
missing out on
explained.
one of the best things. Like, dude, Grippos are amazing.
The hell are they? We still don't know. Explain them.
They're chips.
Okay, so everyone says you're coming to Colorado to play PlayStation VR for Resident
I am
Evil.
not coming to Colorado to play Resident Evil 7. Not a chance.
You are coming, Rob.
No, I'm not.
We will live stream it and film it for the channel. Rob, you want to see the gaming channel?
Oh, yeah.
You want to see that gaming channel actually succeed? We just have a grown man cowering in the corner of my living room.
If Rob doesn't do it, I'll do it. I can get real scared real easy.
No. It's going to be Rob. Rob's got to be terrified.
Okay, that's fine. It's true. I'd much rather watch him be scared.
You know what? I'll just fly the whole weekly poll here, and then like a fun house, I'll rotate you guys in.
That's a solid idea, actually.
The weekly poll plays Resident Evil 7. Oh, no, Tiffany. No, you're on board now. I can't wait to see you and Sal's reaction.
I usually get frightened and then I get really angry.
I could see Sal putting on the helmet and being like, nah, this scary house is bullshit, man. Turning around and going home.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it.
That's where the devil lives. We're not going to the devil's house.
It's like, I'm not a part of this anymore. Thank you.
I could totally see that.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it doubling
That's
up
all
on
you
the
guys,
sound
man.
effect?
It's one thing to play a scary game. It's another to put on a headset and believe you're actually in that scary game. That's how people die.
No, Rob, you're doing it.
No.
Rob, no, you're doing it.
That's how people get. That's how their mind snaps. You remember like Harry Potter. Remember when Neville Longbottom's parents went insane? Well, they weren't actually tortured. They played a scary game with virtual reality. They went insane. That's what happened.
Bellatrix Lestrange just put that helmet on their head.
Yeah, the whole thing of like we tortured them into insane. It was a ruse. It was designed to trick Neville Longbottom so they could maintain the secrecy thing, so that like people wouldn't learn about wizards. That's what that was.
How much closer are we with this VR technology? How much closer will we be to actual VR troopers? That's what I want.
I want to know how. I want to know how close we are to being a VR, like Sword Art Online.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Because Sword Art Online is that thing. Could you imagine that? Like that'd be the end of me. Like
that would be awesome. What I don't care for that is the paralysis part of it.
And getting locked in the world.
Yeah, no, the whole getting locked in the world thing's a little scary too.
I don't like that. No. I'd rather have that thing that you get in and it's like a low friction running thing.
Right.
And you use that with the VR.
But that would be a lot more money than $500.
I know. That's like a stretch goal of mine. I want that.
And would you have to build that rig yourself, or would you have to pay for people to come to your house and set that rig up?
I think at that point, if I'm willing to do this, I think I'm just gonna have a man come to my house and or a woman and build it for me, and then I'll put my little goggles on, and at that point, hopefully Blizzard will make some sort of awesome port for WoW, and then I'll get me right back.
Could you imagine that actually be? You know, we're getting way off any kind of topic. Oh, okay, bye, Rob. Bye. We love you, Rob.
He's coming to Colorado because he's gonna play Resident Evil 7.
He's coming to Colorado right now.
All right. So what's the first topic you actually fished up for us this time?
What do we got?
You're Sal now, by the way. Apparently,
I'm Sal. Ooh, I got promoted to Sal. Go me.
Now you've been demoted to Caitlin.
Dang it.
Because Sal would not celebrate a promotion.
No, he wouldn't.
That's fair. Well, it's funny. We were joking about VR Troopers a second ago, and this is fitting. It was announced this week the next big comic book crossover that everyone's going to be losing their minds for. I'm already losing my mind.
I know,
for
I
it.
am too.
Power Rangers / Justice League from Tom freaking Taylor. Yes. I am all about this. It's like someone read my dream journal when I was 6.
So for those of you guys who don't know, Tom Taylor's the guy that wrote Injustice. So he wrote Injustice. He's writing the all-new Wolverine right now. He actually wrote a cartoon show for kids. So he's versatile in what he can do. But on top of that, we have the Power Rangers and the Justice League. It's like every childhood dream just in a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Right?
It's the original Mighty Morphin era team versus the Justice League, which is actually closer to the cartoon counterpart because Jon Stewart is their Green Lantern.
Yes.
Cyborg is on the team, but he's closer to how he looked in Teen Titans than how he does currently in the comics.
Yeah, I really dig that because I really like Jon Stewart, so I'm like, yay! But I also think it's really cool that they're doing all those crazy variant covers with like each member of the Justice League paired up with one of the Rangers. Like that's awesome.
I'm gonna buy all of those and put them on my wall where the Trinity War was at for the longest time.
You and me both, man.
I gotta tell you, I'm really jazzed too because Marguerite Sauvage is doing the Green Lantern one with the Yellow Ranger, and the Yellow Ranger is always my favorite Ranger. Cool. So, just like, thank you. That's for me. I'm gonna get that, make it big. It's not even like I used to be like really into Power Rangers back at the day, and now I'm like, But this is awesome.
Just like
this is But this is awesome. This is like they literally were like, wait a minute. There's a whole generation of individuals who have money now, and here are a couple of things that they like. What if we just put them together?
Oh my God, guys! Rob turned into a dog.
It was bound to happen eventually. Good Rob,
Oh.
good boy.
He got bit. It's full moon.
What are the over-under you think on this Power Rangers Justice League story that Superman or Batman might pick up a morpher and go, it's morphin time, and actually get to see the Justice League morph into Power Rangers? If so, how overpowered would that be?
Oh my God.
No, I don't want that. I do want them to be in the Megazord and Batman just shows up. They're like, how the hell did you get in here?
That's
He's like,
also good.
Well, I'm Batman, so...
The solicitation, as it's read, says that Zack the Black Ranger, the original Black Ranger, somehow manages to fall into the DC universe. Just somehow, you know.
It happens.
We'll figure it out.
Something, whatever.
You know, you take a wrong turn on your way to the store and you just end up in the DC comic universe. That happened to me last week. I had a whole adventure I had to get back.
Pool 2099, I think he's right, but he said that DC is going to publish the most intercompany crossovers at once, because aren't they doing sequels to Batman TMNT? They're doing another Turtles and Batman. They're doing another Star Trek and Green Lanterns.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor. I know James Tynion, when we were at New York Comic Con, was answering some questions from the people in front of me. He said he has one in the works, him and the other guy. They have one on paper, but they haven't accepted it yet.
Okay. Well, I did hear that they were going to continue Star Trek Green Lantern, which is another one.
They probably will.
JLA Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is now confirmed, but I've also heard rumblings of this Green Lanterns on the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, that'd be a fun one. That'd be a really fun one.
I have heard of that. This isn't the first time. Let me look that up, see if it's been confirmed.
I'd read the shit out of that one.
I like that. I could also see if they took...
Yeah,
like,
no, it's a
Flash.
crossover with Boom. It's announced. It's 100% on board.
Oh, it is happening. Cool.
That's insane. That's insane.
How does that work? They show up and like, would you all just shut up? Willpower, go.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's Earth. Okay, well, we have powers, so...
Well, you think about it. Hal Jordan is very much like, you know...
February. It comes out February. Planet of the Apes,
really?
Green Lantern crossover. They're letting Planet of the Apes take the headline.
Oh, geez, sooner than we thought. I was going to say, you think about it. Hal Jordan is very much like the main character from the original Planet of the Apes movie.
Heston?
Yeah, like the Heston guy. Think about it. He's even kind of looks like Heston. He's got the square-jawed, movie guy of that time, good looks. He crashes on the planet. His ring runs out of juice, so he's got to fight some damn dirty apes.
No, see, I'm telling this is fine. It's going to be probably really fun, but like the Flash makes so much more sense because he can run fast enough to essentially break the time, stream essentially, and that's what it is. Like the Planet of the Apes is the far-flung future.
And you could put Gorilla Grodd in there.
The Batman one is an official already on paper, but it's not what you're thinking. It's not a sequel, unless that's the one they're debating. They're doing a Batman animated series crossing over the Turtles cartoon show from the 90s.
I'm more excited for that. That's everything I want right there.
See, I like that, but all right, let's be honest. The cartoon show, the Ninja Turtles cartoon show was great, right? But like, it's not the most serious incarnation of them, whereas Batman the Animated Series, I think, is a little more serious in its tone. Oh, yeah. So I don't know how that meshes.
I love how the chat is freaking out. And that is confirmed. It's Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures.
Ooh.
Oh. I appreciate the fact that DC is going for it. It's almost like they're flaunting it in Marvel's face. Like we're not going to do it with you, but we'll do it with everyone else.
You know what? I don't think that's it. I think so. And this is actually goes to this topic here. It's very interesting because you guys know that I actually look at a lot of things on a business mind, and I figure out how it's all going to work analytically and all that other stuff like that. And I find it very interesting to see that Marvel is doing very much close to chest, in-house. We are not letting anything out. We're not doing anything. It's like we're going to 100% control everything. Yep. DC, on the other hand, is like, look, you want to work with us? Whatever. Obviously the fees aren't even that high if they have any. Because there's way too many things happening in DC right now. So it's very interesting to see the two of them going back and forth like this with Marvel's approach of keeping everything close to chest, while DC has the idea of everyone is fair game. I mean, without going too deep into our relations with each one of the companies, guys, we've worked with both. We can tell you DC is a lot easier to work with than Marvel is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that could also just be part of this whole, like, again, like Rebirth is certainly an event that's happening within the books, but it's also like a change in their overall running of their company.
Definitely.
So like that could just be, this could be all part of this overarching plan. And Marvel's just like, meh.
Well, that's the other problem too. Is Marvel's
Rob,
suffering
before you talk, you owe us 5 splooges.
Quick succession.
Splooge.
And for those of you guys asking about the
Splooges.
voiceover thing, I honestly don't know what's doing it because I don't have that program open. So I've reduced something. If it doesn't reduce it, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Yeah. But no, that's one of the reasons why like Marvel's struggling with a crisis of writers because like Matt Fraction, I'm pretty sure took off for his own personal projects.
Yeah.
I think Rick Remender took off for his own personal projects.
Haven't
You
seen
got
them
guys
for a
like
bit.
yeah, you got guys like Tom King that are writing for both Marvel and for DC because he didn't sign an exclusivity contract. But
No, I thought he
did.
did.
He did.
He did.
Vision
He
will
did
be the
now.
last.
He wasn't.
oh, Vision. Oh, he did now.
Yeah. Issue 12 is it.
Oh.
It's over.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Vision,
I mean, like,
Vision
that's-
wasn't
What
doing
the
that
hell is
well,
your
though.
problem?
Well, to be fair, though, like, that's the end of the Vision story, though. Like,
Yeah.
that was his plan.
Yeah.
So, like,
I
at
do-
least there's
which-
that.
Which, by the way, Tom King, kudos to you. Like, the Vision video is coming out tomorrow, I think. Dude, Tom King wrote one hell of a story with Vision.
Mhm.
God, heaven, dude, it's super. Like, I love the inner monologue. And the whole thing's being told by Agatha Harkness. I'm like, that's awesome. But, or at least the whole first story arc is, anyway.
Geez, spoiler raw. Actually, that's the most I read. I read up to that part. I was waiting for it to finish. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah,
and
I
finish it.
figure it can't hurt to spoil the first story arc at this point, but no. Anyway, that seems to be the problem with Marvel is like they're suffering from a crisis of writers. Like all the really good writers have bailed out. I mean, you still got Jason Aaron and guys like that, but you know, like I'm curious what direction things are going to take because I imagine with Jason Aaron, he's probably given a lot of liberty with Thor. They're probably just like write
yeah.
Thor's stories. We don't care
Yeah.
what you do as long as
It
it's
didn't
reasonable.
cross over. They didn't touch his work. They let him go
Dude,
unmolested.
I was okay. So I was going through the story arc for Thor, and that's one thing I noticed is it's like Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. Like Benny made a really good point once saying like the Green Lantern mythos is its own mythos. DC lets Jeff Johns do whatever he wanted to do when he was writing it. And with Jason Aaron, it seems to be the same way with Thor. Like, do you want it to tie in? No, not really. Okay, then it won't tie in. Done.
Yeah.
And then Thor just keeps on keeping on. But it's kind of obvious with regards to the Marvel line of stories right now that they're really, really struggling. And this is a big issue is I feel like it's really a matter of perception. I mean, when you break it down for what it is, Marvel's basically doing the same thing that DC did. DC took the stuff that didn't work with the New 52
Yeah.
and they changed it so that it worked with pre-New 52. Marvel's doing the same thing. They're just keeping stuff on. It would be like if DC called it the New 52, changed a few things here and there, and the continuity kept on the same. The issue is people feel deceived. People feel like they were told, hey, it's going to be a reboot. You know, it's all new and all different. Even if the word reboot was never explicitly stated, you can't say it's all new and all different and then make things completely the same as they were before without any real deviation. And so I think because of that, it skews people's perspectives. You know, not only that, you just see a rehash of old stories. It's almost as if they ran out of ideas. It's like, well, we have this wooden fence. We're not going to paint it. It's a red fence. We're going to paint it orange instead of red instead of just building a new one. You know. That's how people feel because they sit down, they read the Clone Conspiracy, it's the Clone Saga. They sit down, they're like, okay, at the end of this Clone Conspiracy, you know, Gwen Stacy may or may not come back. Like, you know, it's Dr. Octopus is really great at Superior Spider-Man, so he's back as his regular self. By the end of Clone Conspiracy, he's going to be Superior Spider-Man again. Like,
You think?
You know, people. Yeah, I do. I can almost guarantee this because it's so popular. You can't ignore something like that that's that popular.
It's
Dan Slott
true.
may choose to ignore it, but the fact remains that people see the same old stories being rehashed over and over and over again. People look at the Ultimates. They're like, well, it's just the Ultimates from the Ultimate Universe. They still exist in the Triskelion. They're still led by Nick Fury. Or no, they're not really led by Nick Fury, but Nick Fury is still like an aspect. Like they're led by, you know, Adam Brashear. All the elements seem to be the same. And so people sit down and they're like, there's no real deviation between what's going on now and what was going on before all new, all different Marvel, but it's supposed to be all new and it's supposed to be all different. This isn't what I paid for. It was supposed to be a jumping off platform. You know, there is no jumping off point. You got to go back and you got to read old stories to figure out what's going on right now, you know, and then people sit down, they're like, well, Civil War 2 sucks because it's just a rehash of the original Civil War, but it's not even that well done. It's just hammered out because somebody thought about it over the course of an hour and said, here's the plot. Let's
with
do
all
this.
the best bits being in tie-ins.
Yeah, and the only thing right now, the only story arc that's coming up right now that I'm really excited to read is, you know, Captain America Steve Rogers when it finishes.
Yeah.
I'm also digging that.
I'm ready to read next week or the week after. Issue number 6 comes
It's
out.
this week, yeah.
Yeah,
and
seven's the big one. They announced it.
Seven's the big one.
Seven's
Oh,
the
okay.
big one that's going to keep that story going. And to just kind of tie into the whole Rebirth reboot idea, Marvel's pretty much admitted all new, all different Marvel as a bomb. by promoting as heavily as they are, Marvel Now, the new
Marvel Now
relaunch.
2.0.
Because you can go ahead and say, oh, it's a new season of comics. I know Sal loves to have that argument.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between going, this is our new season of comics, and going, it's Marvel Now! The way they're toting it.
Feels like All New, All Different didn't even really go anywhere in the time we had
There was no plot that came out of it except Civil War.
Yeah, that's true. But what's funny is I've been reading Doctor Strange since they launched it with All New, All Different, and I feel like, other than maybe the Vision, it's one of the few books in which they actually tried to do something all new and all different with him.
No, I loved that book too. It's funny
Last Days of
to
Magic
agree
is
with you.
good.
Every book that they've tried new shit with, I'm still reading.
Yeah, exactly. And every other book that like the writers or the teams were like, I don't want to change anything. I just want to keep going. They're struggling. They're not as good. And I can't wait to see the numbers on how First Clone Conspiracy sold, because at a $5 price tag, I like to think it didn't do well.
I wouldn't think it would.
I would say 2 more books to add to that list there of ones that, weren't really affected by, and as such ended up being pretty good. Ant-Man, which is also ending
Ant-Man's
this
doing
week.
great.
It's
But
ending
isn't it
this
coming
week.
back again? It's Ant-Man and Wasp or something, isn't it?
My theory is Ant-Man and Wasp are going to be coming back in time for the newest movie. The new Wasp, Nadia Pym, will be getting a book, but this is the end of, Scott Lang for a little bit.
Lang's run. Yeah.
They're going
Which
to give
makes
him a
sense.
breather.
Yeah, I guess they're giving him a
that
breather.
comic never really did that well.
It was a critical darling, but no, it never sold gangbusters.
Yeah.
Critical darling.
Well,
Critical
Well, see,
darling.
I
I
don't
love
know
that
if it's-
Scott Lang book, I tell you what.
I don't know if it's just if Marvel's being stubborn. Because here's the issue, man. Like there comes a point when you got to put your pride aside. If it's a pride thing, if Marvel's like, well, we're not DC, we don't reboot. There comes a time when you have to say, you know what, maybe we do. Maybe we do reboot. Maybe now is the time to do it.
I don't think it's a pride thing. I think we're going through topics. We're just going to sit here and talk about bashing on Marvel's reboot yet
Feels
again.
like we've done this every week for the last couple
we've done this like every week. But I am just going to end it with this little thing real quick. Just to disagree with you on this point here. I don't feel like it's a pride thing. I think honestly, it's a fear thing, because Marvel has never done it. DC has done it. Watch the sales go down, up, and they've done it 1,000 times at this point.
They have it down to a science now.
Right.
They do it so often.
But Marvel has never, and that's always been one of their big things. We don't reboot. We have a rolling timeline. And if you do the first reboot, once it happens, it's going to change the game.
Oh yeah, it opens the door, and they're not ready to open it. They're afraid of what's beyond it, because they don't like that. Nobody likes change. Let's be honest. No matter who says they like change, there's always like a million other people who are like, I don't like change.
They're going to lose a chunk of readers if they ever actually did it.
Yeah.
You know what
DC
happens?
lost a shit ton of New 52. The only reason New 52 was actually a success, as much as people want to say they hated it, is because they brought in so many new readers. Because they did that reboot at the exact timing of everything kind of hitting its peak. Even our channels took off around that same time.
It's true. It's really true.
It's when comics kind of hit a peak, and they kind of, because movies just got huge, and now they're kind of leveled out, and we're waiting for the next big, what the fuck happened?
And they marketed it good, too. They had TV commercials telling people, be like, hey, go down to your local comic book store and pick up Batman #1, everybody.
Yeah.
But tying this back into what we were talking about, in terms of Marvel, I wish Marvel would do, team up books. I wish they would, share their universe with other players. I mean, DC's already taken so many of the great ones that it's going to be difficult at this point, because we didn't mention this, but I know that Gotham Academy is doing a crossover with like Lumberjanes. So they're pulling in they're trying all these new audiences.
Cheating.
What?
That's the same writer, so it's kind of cheating.
I didn't think about that.
But at the same time, they're still willing to do it. And that means that, let's say you had a whole slew of fans who were reading Lumberjanes who didn't even know the Gotham Academy. You know what I mean? They're thinking that. And that's the way you do try to get the new reader in. Is
that's
doing
the
these
equivalent
things.
of me collabing with Eligible Monster or Comicstorian.
Exactly. Hey, I've seen that before. I used to work at a bookstore. We saw that all the time. Ghost writers working with each other. They're exactly the same author. It happens. But it's brilliant because the audiences don't always cross over.
Come on, Nightwing hack slash. I really want Nightwing hack slash. Come on, Tim Seeley, make it happen.
Well, no, I mean, you know what I think people would like. You know what I think people really want to see right now is I think they want to see some more Marvel DC crossovers.
Yes.
Those were huge.
That is never
back
going to
in the
happen
90s.
at this point.
Oh, I know it's never going to happen. But those were so. I mean, Superman, Spider-Man set it off, and it was huge.
Well, just because DC's crossing over with everyone, I have a feeling it's the Disney telling Marvel, no, you're not. We're not doing that. We don't do that. You're not doing it with DC, because DC's crossing over with everyone. So I guarantee you, it's Marvel saying, no, we're not doing it.
It could be. I know there was like I can't remember who it was. I can't remember which side it was. That was like, as long as this individual is on the other side, we're never going to cross over.
Yeah.
Well, if you actually look into the 2 other events they've done, apparently they were just disasters between both sides wanting to have their winners.
Yeah.
Well, because like it's an in and of itself, like when you have 2 juggernauts like that coming together, you know, like who's gonna publish it? Who's gonna publish one issue as opposed to the other issue? Who's going to collect the profits from that? Who's gonna collect the profits from this book? You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, let's literally just go in this 50-50.
Yeah. And before we move on to the next topic, the comment of, well, Marvel did do the Attack on Titan and Avengers crossover.
It
you
did.
are right, but that was supposed to be more than 8 pages, and it bombed as soon as, not because it wasn't popular. Everyone wants it. They just couldn't work the deal out.
Yeah.
So it did only an 8-page special, and that was the end of that. Okay, let's move on to the next topic here. We all know Death of X is going on. We all assumed this was where Marvel was finally going to kill off the X-Men. But hey, they've announced Resurrection.
Action.
You gotta say it with the X. So, and they've announced the first book in this, which is Iceman getting a solo series, and it looks like it's the younger gay version as opposed to the older I'm in hiding version.
Talk about too little too late. If they had announced an Iceman solo series right when they had announced that he was gay, I would have been
He was all over the headlines at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Way to hit when the iron is ice cold, guys. No pun intended, because it's Iceman.
I don't understand what they're doing with that. Like, it's cool that they're coming. Like, they're obviously not killing the X-Men. They're coming back, but
Right.
Iceman, that's the big one you're going to announce.
You know, that was kind of the kicker to me, is it felt like it came out of left field. Like what's so relevant about Iceman right now that he deserves a solo book? Like,
Maybe
what about Iceman stands out right now?
Maybe they feel that it's safe. Like
guess.
nobody's making a movie about Iceman right now.
That could be. Maybe they're trying to push the X-Men that they don't have to worry about getting slapped into a movie.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, well, they say that up until Fox is like, Iceman the movie, and then the Iceman movie comes out.
It's already, I feel too, if you've been reading All New X-Men, which I stopped, but that first arc dealt with a lot of the material that I would want to see in a new Young Iceman book, and that is him, you know, dealing with coming out and everything, and his friends supporting him and everything. You can't really tell those stories now without going back to the same well, because you already did it in All New X-Men.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the kicker for me. See, I love the concept of All New X-Men because it was a road trip with X-Men, and I dug that. With Iceman, it just seems strange. I mean, honestly, if there were going to be any Marvel character that they have right now that I would want to see another solo book on, I'd love to see him revisit the solo story of Magneto. I'd love to see them revisit the solo story of Storm.
If you like the X-Men and you did not read Magneto, fucking amazing.
Super
so
underrated from Cullen Bunn. That's the one thing that's keeping me reading Uncanny, because like he'll go back to that every so often. Be like, hey, here's the lady character I invented in Magneto. Now she's part of the Hellfire Club.
But you know what? Like, let's obscure X-Men. I'd love to see solo series of Nightcrawler, Colossus.
He had one.
Oh, dude, yeah.
What if Magic got another one?
Nightcrawler had one from Chris Claremont not that long ago, and it was pretty good.
But yeah,
I'm sure you got some X-Men you'd love to see with solo series, Tiffany.
Well, I was still thinking about this whole Iceman thing just in general. Like I keep going back to it. Like, why would they do it? Why would they pick it? I mean, like, certainly when the X-Men were like invented, they were invented for a very specific like reason. And now that they've like come out and said that Bobby is gay, that like, you know, that kind of is harkened back to that. But like, you got to think about the fact that like he's got to be fun to write for. You know, he's an X-Man who actually like has a physical looking power. You know what I mean? Like, he can shoot things, and it's got to be fun to draw that and to create panels for it. Like, he has to just be a straight up fun character. So I can imagine if you were like a creative team who was like, who do you want? They might just be like, I want Iceman. I want to do something with that. I want to put my mark on this character.
I mean, that could actually be it. It could literally be no real reason behind it, except the writer was like, I'd love to write a story about Iceman.
Right?
I mean, I've been shopping around. Like, I've gone to companies before, and I've been shopping around possibly getting my own personal books. Like, I'm trying to write a comic, guys. I'm not quiet about it. I'm trying to write one. I'm trying to get it published. But a lot of the companies I've gone to have said, well, if we were to give you one of our heroes, who would you want to write? And that's exactly how the talks start. Like,
yeah, it's like, who do you want? And it's like, they could have just been like, you know what? Like, I always liked Iceman, and I feel like he needs, like, a story told about him. And maybe they had that story. They were just ready to go with it. It could, I mean, like, there could just be, like you said, like, there could be no plan. There could be no plan at all. They could just be like, let's just do it. He's different. You know what I mean? Like, it's new. It's something we haven't really done before.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's just go for it. Though, if I wanted to see, like, a really random, like, story, about mutants, I'd like to see a Morlocks book.
Yeah, Calypso, all them cool characters.
That would be awesome.
No, so here's what I would do, to be honest. Like with this, Marvel now, Marvel reinvigorating itself. But did you guys ever read Marvels?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would take that premise and I would do it on characters. And I would just call it the life and times. So it would just be like the life and times of like Iceman. Or like the life and times of Charles. And it would be the Marvel universe through their eyes as superheroes. So it would literally be like the untold story of Cyclops.
Interesting.
So instead of like, I mean, you could refresh people, because a lot of people who are picking up the Cyclops now, they only know him recently. They only know him after he became the new Magneto.
Right.
But you could turn around and say like, the untold story of Cyclops.
No one cared.
And died and no one cared. And then you can basically like go through and spend the first half of it, make it a graphic novel. Spend like the first half of it, covering Cyclops' life as an X-Man, and along the way, basically start talking like about how events of the X-Men weren't a part of, but how Cyclops saw those events unfold. Like, to me, that would be a cool thing. Like, to me, that would be a cool premise, because it would literally give you the other part of a story. And you do that with different people, the life and times of, or I guess, the untold story of Captain America and the untold story of the Incredible Hulk, and you just do them as graphic novels. Of the Punisher. Dude, I'd read the hell out of that. The untold story of the Punisher. Like, I'd read that. As long as it's written well, I'd read the hell out of that. Like, I think that's kind of cool.
Okay, so that didn't reduce the volume of that. It went, oh, yeah. So that is not where it is. I guess we'll try something else. Let me know if everyone gets quiet when I do this. If they can't hear, I'll hear you guys, no problem.
All right, yeah, we'll just keep talking then.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think that's kind of, because I think that right now in the realm of comic books, and I think this is one of the things that Marvel has kind of struggled with, is things tend to grow stale. How many stories can you really tell with Peter Parker? I personally love the corporate Peter Parker, but people buy Spider-Man comics to see Peter Parker as Spider-Man.
Right.
That's what they do. And so the question is, how many villains, how many times can Spider-Man go against Dr. Octopus? How many new schemes can Dr. Octopus work up? How often
as it
do you
takes.
do that? As many as it takes. How often do you do that? Until it gets to the point where people just start losing interest. They're like, all right, I don't really care anymore. And so the idea is to refresh things, to try new things, to freshen things up. That's why I like a lot of the new stories that they're doing. I love Jane Foster Thor, because we've had Odin's son for the last 50 years, and it was great to see somebody else take that mantle, and Jason Aaron's doing one hell of a job. Odin's son is on his way back. Like, he's coming back.
Just in time for his new movie, figure that.
Right, yeah.
But the fact remains.
It's a total double-edged sword. Like, yes, you can only tell so many stories so many times in so many ways, right? But as soon as you make a change like that, everyone becomes uncomfortable and they don't know what to do, and they want like the old back. They want the thing that they are used to back, So like, I feel like to some degree, Marvel really just needs to like man up and like make choices, but they're behind this 8 ball where it's just like, no matter what we do, someone's gonna be mad at us.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just publishing in general.
It is. But like these characters, like some of these characters, some of these like legacy characters, some of these characters that have been around like since the golden age, you know what I mean? Like, they have to treat them carefully, because there are a lot of people who really care about them.
We've
discovered that one. It's quite difficult to deal with that.
Yeah.
That's like I asked people. I was like, just give me your opinion. I was like, because when I did that Thor video, I was like, give me your opinion. Like, which one do you like better, Odin's son or Jane Foster Thor? That video's got almost 1,200 comments. So I'm just like, okay, well, I guess people have their own opinions.
Yeah.
But no, I get that, and that I respect. Like, I respect the idea, because I'm one of those. I respect the idea that we as fans latch on to characters for whatever reason, and we don't want to see them change. That's why you experiment. That's why you test the waters. Now, if all different Marvel launched, and you were like, well, this is weird, this is different, I don't know how to handle this, what you do is you go to a comic book store, you buy a comic, and you start reading it. And you decide whether you like it or not. That's what you do. Like, you don't just look at it and say, well, this is Jane Foster Thor, I'm not going to read it. I have no idea what's going on inside the book. I've never read it. I have no idea what the story's like. I don't know anything about the supporting cast. I have no idea how Jason Aaron reinvigorated Malekith and made him interesting.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I'm going to assume it's bad, and I'm not going to read it. Like, you don't do that. You go and you read it. Like Ultimates were the most
that's always been one of my arguments.
Until they weren't.
That's always been one of my arguments, because comic books are so cheap. I mean, I get it. $5 is not cheap for some people, and I'm not saying cheap for everyone, but they're in a price point where you can risk it. It's not like a $60 video game where it's like, oh, if I spend $60, that's my game for the month.
Yeah.
But
60, that's cute. It's 80 here in Canada.
Yeah, exactly my point. But like a comic book's $3, $4, $5. It's cheap enough that you can risk one issue. Like, I'm not saying,
you know what? Or educate yourself by watching great channels like Comics Explained, Comicstorian, Comic Pop, and Cape Joel. They'll let you know. They're good people. I've met them.
It's not even that. I mean, we're a year into all new, all different Marvel. Go to Marvel Unlimited, pay $10 a month, and read the first story arc on almost everything that came out within the first 6 months. Like that's a great alternative. I mean, it's like I get that we latch on to things, we don't want to see stuff change. That's cool, but sometimes you just have to accept that things do change. Right. And sometimes you gotta test the waters and see whether or not you like it. You could not have paid me money to go and pick up a comic from the Ultimate Universe. Like you could, well, maybe you could have, but I wouldn't have done it. Like,
the changes issues are actual problems. And to go with, Iceman could be fun and new. On the flip side, we also have the announcement of the Weapon X books, which could be more of Marvel being like, remember when Weapon X was cool?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's funny. This team they seem to be running with for Weapon X is the one from the Wolverines book. That is so
I feel like the story is going to be them coming back together to do something involving Wolverine. Maybe finally reviving him.
That seems to be the way the winds are blowing, and even on like the production material for it, you see classic Wolverine on there. And I don't know about you guys, but honestly, I wasn't reading classic Wolverine when he was around. I'm loving Old Man Logan.
I'm loving Old Man Logan, but I was reading classic Wolverine. And you want to know why you weren't reading classic Wolverine? The last story arc that even stands out in my mind as being like, I remember it, and it's not because it was good, was when Wolverine went into the backwoods swamps where he found an old, like, hillbilly scientist who apparently had his memories under lockdown and locked him away and then took his memories and started replacing them again. That is where the story arcs for Wolverine were going.
There was like two books, wasn't there? There was like Savage and regular Wolverine.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of them.
Savage was okay. That was their attempt at being like, fuck all that shit. Here's more Wolverine doing Wolverine shit.
No. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're 100% right. By the time, Wolverine was going off the rails. It was just do whatever you think is interesting. Just write stories. But in the 1990s, they had a line of stories called Weapon X. And it literally, like, it was what was it? It was a limited series, I think. It was 12 issues, maybe 15 issues, and it literally told the story. Like that's the series that I'm going to be doing. Is like the untold story of Wolverine. It literally tells you the story of Wolverine as part of the Weapon X program, from the time that he was part of Team X, I think it was, all the way up until he escaped from the facility. Like it tells you all that stuff that he went through. And it was really cool, and even then, like, because Wolverine was so popular, they actually had a line of publications called Weapon X, I think, which is that's where the whole nickname Wolverine being called Weapon X came from. But the fact remains that no, I mean, I'm really interested in this. I'm really hyped about this. I mean, with Wolverine, all you need is a cell. He was encased in adamantium. As soon as you open it up and expose him to oxygen, he'll start breathing again. The problem is
his healing factor's gone.
That's right. He lost it.
That's why he's dead. Do you really think that if he was alive, sealed up in that shit, like everyone in the Marvel universe wouldn't be like, we need to figure out a way to get him the fuck out?
No, because adamantium, like once adamantium hardens, you can't break out of it.
Well, no, and I get that, but if he was alive in there, you don't think one of his friends would be 100% working on trying to find a way to get rid of that?
Oh no, like they would have taken Jane because Thor's hammer can dent adamantium. Like when it's at its full, there was one comic where it absorbed a shit ton of magic out of Doctor Strange, and that was when Marvel established that Thor's hammer can dent adamantium, true adamantium, but it can't actually break it. But they would have been like, hey, Jane Foster Thor, just start hitting this, just hit the adamantium case, and keep doing it until something happens.
Just hit it all day.
That's what I'm saying.
Night.
I'm like, if because he's dead, no one's messing with him. But if he was alive, I would be a very angry Logan if I was just sitting in this thing like, all right, guys, when you gonna fucking get me out?
Any day now, any day. Wait, is that you, Steve? Anybody?
Oh God, that was like when Iron Man. You guys remember that story where Iron Man got trapped in his armor and died?
Yeah. Yeah. You keep
that was messed up, man. Like Punisher was like they said it was 5 days before the screaming stopped. I was like, imagine that, being stuck in the Iron Man suit and just dying in there.
No, I don't want to imagine that. Why would I want to imagine that?
All right, so moving forward, because we do have a couple other topics I don't even on your list here that just came out today. But since we're talking about new comic book releases, how about the new DC books they've announced? The Amazons and the Fall and Rise of Captain Atom.
Yeah, wow.
That's Amazon sounds cool to me.
It does.
See, I'm excited for Captain Atom because it's finally going to answer the question, where the fuck has Captain Atom been for the last 5 years?
I can't believe the people who are writing these books.
What do you mean?
Because the Amazon book is being written by Kevin Grievick, who is from Underworld. He's the big guy.
That's right. Oh,
And he's actually written other comics. And then
No,
Greg
that's Kevin
Weisman's going to be
Graveau,
on
and he
the
wrote
Fall
Blue
and
Marvel.
Rise of Captain Atom team.
No one wrote Blue Marble. Blue Marble doesn't exist.
No, Kevin Graveau, dude, this guy is a genius. You guys look him up. The guy's got like a master's in chemical engineering or some
He's
shit
a
like that. The guy's
genius, and he's jacked.
He's also,
Dude.
he's huge.
yeah, the guy could clone people and build rocket ships out of his basement if he wanted to.
He's
like the
basically
guy-
a real superhero.
Yeah, like he modeled Kevin Graveau or he modeled Adam Brashear after himself. Dude, I didn't realize he was writing it. If he's writing he's writing the Amazons,
The Amazon one.
dude, I will read the shit out of that story.
Yeah.
I trust anything he writes.
You know,
will read
I
it.
will say there's a lot of sides to the DC universe that I don't give a fuck about because they're like, we're going to tell a story about this obscure shit. And I'm like, cool, don't care. But learning more about the other Amazons, I'm kind of bored with that. Like,
Good idea.
I think that's awesome. And,
Like,
and,
I
they're
feel
gonna
like
go
it's
into
an
mythology,
untapped
and that's
thing. Yeah.
cool.
I
And
feel
then
like it's
for
an
Fall
untapped
and Rise-
market they've never gone into.
I know. It's just sitting there. It's like, here are all these other amazing women who also have like incredible strength, and they're gonna go on these crazy adventures. I'm
Right.
like,
I mean, Wonder
yes.
Woman doesn't have, like, she has some stuff to make her special, but the other Amazons are strong and capable.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. They're just missing other like friends that she has.
Well, I mean, I'm just excited to learn about the mythos. That's the only issue that I have with Wonder Woman in terms of how she delves into Amazon. She's like, once upon a time, I was made of clay, and then that's it.
Or not. Or depends on which story you're
depends
going
on
It
which
with.
story
depends,
you're
it
going
depends
with,
on which story. Yeah, it depends on which story you're going with. But no, I'm actually
I'm just
excited
going to
to
start
see
calling
the whole
Wonder Woman a
mythos.
test tube baby.
Right? And then, I don't know.
Hey, depends how Greg Rucka chooses to finish his run. We won't know.
Dude, by the way, I just want to throw this out there. I'm sorry, Tiffany. I just want to throw this out there. Greg Rucka's run of Wonder Woman is fucking amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, I can't read it. Like, okay, 2-second rant here. I love the Wonder Woman character. I love what Greg Rucka was doing at the beginning. What I fucking hate is this, just tell the goddamn story that he's not doing. It's like, here's the story of Cheetah. Here's the story of Wonder Woman. Here's the story of Wonder Woman as a kid. Here's the story of Wonder Woman. Here's the story of Wonder Woman as a kid.
Yeah,
And
that was the whole point.
Well, I was following it. I was
The
like,
one
okay.
book that's doing it.
Right. I'm like, okay, I get it. If you want to read one, you just read one. You can go back to the other ones, whatever. But then this latest issue and side story about Cheetah. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
what?
That is the only thing that
It was a good
bothers me.
story, but
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you were saying.
But
Yeah.
Captain Atom also has Greg Weisman on the team.
Nice.
He's the guy,
Right?
isn't he the guy doing the Supergirl, Flash, Arrow TV shows?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he is.
That guy, man. That guy's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, no, I knew who Kevin Graveau was. I knew what he was about. But I mean, dude, and here's why I trust Kevin Graveau so much. Maybe it was just the fact that he wrote himself as, Adam Brashear in the Blue Marvel Limited series. Because he said, like, I modeled him after myself, which I don't know how to take that. Like, I am
feels
Kevin
very
Graveau.
self-insert fan fiction.
It does. It really does. But his attention to detail, his historical accuracy, like there's literally a really good segment where Iron Man is talking to some guy who was part of the government that asked Kevin Graveau to step down because it was during the whole race relations and all that kind of stuff. And they were talking about how they didn't trust Kevin Graveau and they didn't trust Adam Brashear.
He's
and
just
Adam
become the
Brashear
character now.
He's just become the character. And Adam Brashear represented a new age of superheroes that they couldn't challenge. And so, because of him, they started initiating these programs, and Iron Man's like, and that's how Project Wide Awake got started. And that was so cool because Project Wide Awake was Bolivar Trask, that was the National Security Council, that was the launch of the Sentinel program. That's where all that stuff came from. It was designed to attack mutants, and it didn't come to fruition until the X-Men comics and Chris Claremont's Mutant Registration Act. But Kevin Graveau came back and retconned it and said the entirety of Project Wide Awake was rooted in the fact that Adam Brashear was just so powerful. Like
Very
that kind of
clever.
attention to detail and the way that he wrote and the whole race relation things, the way he did Anti-Man or whatever, Connor Sims, it was so well done. And I absolutely loved the way he wrote that story. So ever since that, if Kevin Graveau writes anything comic related, I will read it. I don't care what it is.
It's gonna be good. The thing I'm excited for Captain Atom.
Shut
is,
up,
of
Joel.
course-
Anyway.
Damn it, I have a good point here. I mean, look,
Go,
I might
go.
be
I'm just-
congested, but I'm gonna make this point. So yeah, obviously Captain Atom we know is the Charleston hero in which Dr. Manhattan of the Watchmen is based on. The Watchmen are having more and more influence on the DC universe. Captain Atom disappeared. and this book is claiming to explain where he went. Imagine if Dr. Manhattan banished Captain Atom for being too much like him to the Watchmen universe, and that's
No.
where he's been.
My
No, he's
theory
not
right
that
now is that
petty,
Captain
'cause he-
Atom is in the off the board area, as we're currently referring to it as.
Yeah, no, there's no way that Dr. Manhattan would do that. Dr. Manhattan, that would require him to have human feelings, which we've established, like,
to be petty and be angry.
yeah,
You're
like
"He's
he
too much
doesn't
like
have
me,
those
dude."
capabilities. The last time we saw him, at least. But yeah, and I got to tell you, I had no interest in the Captain Atom book until I saw that Weissman was writing it. I liked when he did Gargoyles. Sal and I talked to him one time.
And Young Justice and Spectacular Spider-Man and all these other great shows.
I know. He's like, it's funny that they're giving him a book to work on with another individual, but it's a solo book when he can write things that are team-based and have an ensemble cast. So I'm like, where are we going with this?
Ooh, Starbrand and Night Mask. That was another thing he was on briefly.
So, okay, the next topic we're going to move over to, now that we've got those things mentioned, is the look for Guardian, which is apparently Jimmy Olsen on the Supergirl show. Now, before we go into this, I just want to say, the Supergirl season 1 was okay. Supergirl's first 2 episodes of season 2, oh my God, is this amazing. This is the best portrayal of Superman I have goddamn seen on a TV show ever.
Agreed.
The beginning of this, I just caught up episode 2 yesterday, or actually I'm watching it right now, it's on pause. But the beginning of this episode was Superman flying in, and she's like, do you want to take this one? And he goes, I'll let you have this one, with a smile. I'm like, that is fucking Superman.
Sure is.
Okay. So I think we were at New York Comic Con. I think we were. We were in the hotel room, and Benny's like, dude, have you watched the newest season of Supergirl yet? Was it New York Comic Con?
Yeah, because that's when I saw you, jackass.
Yeah. Okay, so he's like, where else would it be? He's like, shut up. He's like, you got to watch the newest season of Supergirl. And I was like, the one on CW? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, that show sucks. Like, I watched it, was on CBS. I watched a few episodes. I never watched it again. He's like, no. Dude, you got to watch it, man.
And I think I even told you,
it's
just
the
skip
real
the rest of
indication
season 1.
Superman.
I was like, just skip season 1. It doesn't fucking matter.
Dude,
it's totally designed for people to skip season 1 and jump on at this newest one.
Yeah, well, they wrote out Callista Flockhart. Thank you.
Yeah, she's gone now.
For that.
Yeah.
So,
That's
like,
okay. She doesn't need the money.
She just didn't need the money. No. See, this Supergirl I like though, because she's not like, oh, I'm just trying to find my way in the world. Like, that's not the Supergirl.
She
it's like,
knows what's
dude,
up.
Some shit's going down, man. Let's go solve this problem. Let's go deal with this. And it's like, yeah, because I'm glad, like, they're all that's. It's Supergirl. Yes, Superman's there. That's cool, but it's Supergirl.
Now, and it feels like Supergirl now, and it's no longer a journey of a woman trying to find her way in New York who happens to have heat vision.
She found it. She already found her place.
She found it, and that's what this should have been in the beginning. Like this should have just been like and Supergirl's here. Like, she's not figuring out her way. Like, she's already here. Right. Like, she already knows what's going on, and she's just going out and she's beating the hell out of people. Now, having said that, by the time this season ends, which I pray to God we get it, I want to see Crisis on Infinite Earth Supergirl. I want to see Supergirl, the last one standing. I want to see everybody else is down for the count. Superman's
We're going to be doing crossover, so probably.
He's bloody, and the Flash, Barry Allen's like, oh my God, I can't run. You know, even though it's a Speed Force, and I ain't got to explain shit. Like, Green Arrow is just like totally unconscious because he's like, oh, I'm Batman and I shoot arrows. And Supergirl like gets up, you know, she's like pushing herself off the ground. She's like, I'm fucking Supergirl, you know, and then and wins. Like, that's the Supergirl that I want to see. I want to see the badass red bandana.
What I love about this, though, and this is what I really love about how they're portraying Supergirl, because I'm a Supergirl fan. I like her stories. I like her as a character, because Superman, I still love Superman, but Superman's in everything, while Supergirl's basically Superman, but we're removed from it all, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what's always been fun about her. And for those of you guys who are stating we're late to the party, we haven't been here for 2 weeks to talk about these first 2 episodes of Supergirl.
It's true.
So screw you.
a lot of TV happened in a very short amount of time. Everyone had their premiere.
And so we're going to talk about the Guardian thing in a minute. But what I love about this is when the CW took it over, they weren't scared to change it in a direction that would probably work and make it match up with the other ones. And they weren't scared to bring in Superman. And the best part about them bringing in Superman is at no point did I feel like Superman was overshadowing her. Yes, I felt like it was a Supergirl show and Superman was there. And if he had his own show, he would have just gone back to it and kept doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Right? But how crazy is it, the world that we live in right now, where instead of having a Superman show where Supergirl shows up, we have a Supergirl show and then Superman just, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here too. Like,
Well, because
yeah.
we don't want Henry Cavill to cry himself to sleep.
Right, but I'm
We
just
don't
saying,
want
like, that is so insane. In a world where, like, if you had said this to anybody, like, maybe a decade ago, that, like, the Supergirl show is going to be where you'll get an amazing Superman, and it doesn't even matter, because, like, Supergirl in and of herself is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Like, it would totally always be the reverse of that. But no, they're completely just throwing that in our faces and being like, no, like, trust me.
And also, hey, Martian Manhunter's here too. And also, Jimmy Olsen will become Guardian because why
Yeah.
not?
So moving
Now-
on to that, I
Hold on,
don't know
hold
how
on,
I
hold
feel
on.
about that. I honestly
Hold on.
don't, because Jimmy Olsen already, I don't like this portrayal of him. I guess, look, I
I'm
don't,
sorry,
I
it's
don't,
not Jimmy, it's James.
right, James Olsen. I
He's
don't
a
mind. I
man.
don't mind like race swapping. Like I actually like the New 52 Wally West once they gave him character and he wasn't just whining all the way through.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. What I don't like about this James Olsen is that he's James Olsen. He's a suave, debonair kind of a guy that every
He's
girl
not
wants to be with.
Superman's little buddy.
He's not Superman's little buddy. He's not Goofy. He's not Jimmy. And now he's going to be the Guardian? Like, that's
Yeah.
not Jimmy.
Which,
No,
you know,
they-
if they were going to give him any superhero identity, of course it would be Guardian, because heroes have hot potato, the Guardian identity forever. No one actually owns Guardian. There is no one definitive Guardian.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim
Yeah,
Harper, it's not you.
Introduce like Matt Duncan's crazy ass and he can be Guardian. So here's what they need to do. They need to do a spin-off series and it'll be called like Supergirl's pal Jimmy Olsen. Like that's what they need to do. And just like take it back to the 1970s with those old goofy. That's by the way, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, that line of stories was popular as
It
fuck.
was.
Like it's insane how big it was.
He had
But
a
no, I mean
watch. He could call Superman for help when he got in over his head.
Right?
See, like the Jimmy Olsen thing isn't bad. This is the only issue that I had with season 1 is it was always like, I'm Supergirl, I'm really not sure if I can do it. And it's like
Right.
Jimmy Olsen's like, yeah, Supergirl, you can do it. It's like, dude, you can punch a hole, you can knock Jimmy Olsen's head off with your finger if you wanted to. You got heat vision. You can see through solid objects. Let me tell you something. If anybody in this world is capable of solving that problem, Supergirl, I promise it's you. Like,
Yeah.
come
Well, I
on.
also didn't like the love triangle angle with James Olsen and Lana. Wasn't it Lana they were using?
I think so.
I think it was Lana. Lana showed up and he was like, well, I'm into Lana, but me and Supergirl might be having something. And, I don't know what I'm going to do. And
Right.
I don't
And
like
that's
that.
kind of all right. So, like, look, it's modern day and age, whatever, who cares? But, like, the fact is, it's interesting and it kind of subverts the whole idea of the strength behind Supergirl as a character by taking her potential love interest, friend, whatever, who happens to be a man, and immediately giving him the ability to protect himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whereas
yeah.
were it reversed, they may never get to that point.
The chat is letting me know that it's not Lana. It is Lucy Lane.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know who the fuck that is. So.
But you know what I mean, though? Like, in most stories, I mean, like, yes, in comics, we have seen Lois gain powers and such like that, but, like, typically in the shows, anytime there's Lois Lane, she doesn't do much in terms of aiding Superman, unless it's, like, helping him to get the big scoop or get into trouble.
She gives him a hot tip every so often to stuff she heard
Exactly.
on the streets.
But, like, immediately they need to give James Olsen something that he can do. Like they're not going to. They won't allow him to be on the sidelines like they would were this reversed.
It's totally
Yeah.
the issue
fun side
Steve Trevor
Easter egg.
runs into.
Fun side's Easter egg. Lucy Lane is actually is younger sister of Lois and was Superwoman until the New 52.
Oh yeah, that's
Huh.
right.
That's
I don't remember that at all.
No, see, I want to see the Superman truth Lois Lane. I want to see where she's like, you know what, Superman, we're just gonna put all your shit out on the news. That's what we're gonna do. Like, hey everyone, Superman is Clark Kent. Like that's the Lois Lane I want to see.
Right.
For the record, anybody who's wondering, before New 52, I really wasn't digging Superman, and I think part of that, and it's funny because the reason I bring this up is because Superman is now the Superman we have in the comics now. It's great, but before the New 52, I think I just kind of got burned out and tired of him. But now that we didn't have him for 5 years, I'm like, Superman! Yeah,
Absence made the heart grow super fond, didn't it?
Huh?
I say
Absence did, yeah, it
absence-
made me grow fonder. I'm like, oh, I missed you. I didn't read you before the New 52, but now I want to read you. I'm having a saliva issue here, Tiffany. You can stop laughing at me.
It's like the song says, man, you
can't
don't know
stop.
what you got till it's gone. We didn't know we loved Superman until he went away.
Yeah.
Dude, people were commenting that when I did Son of Superman, people were like, I never really realized how much I missed the pre-New 52 Superman until we got New 52 Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, he's pretty amazing. But I will say this. I think that with DC Rebirth, they've corrected a lot of the issues they had with pre-New 52 Superman. Because by the time New 52 was coming to an end, or by the time it was coming in, that Superman was growing stale. And I think that they kind of came back and they were like, let's take the really good aspects that didn't grow stale and let's refresh those. Which I think they've done a
the
good
new
job of
52
that.
Superman was turning into the Superman we wanted, but I feel like the problem that DC pretty much realized was they spent so long with this finding his way Superman that no one gave a shit that he was turning into proper Superman.
It's
we
true.
just wanted Superman back. I think that was the issue they ran into.
Yeah, I mean, the Superman Truth Superman was about as close as he got to the pre-New 52 Superman. Like, he was right there.
And then
like,
he came back with his powers, and you were like, yeah, we got
And then he
this.
died.
And then he died.
But he died like a boss, though. He had a cool-ass death, though.
Yeah, he did.
All right, so Guardian, everyone on board with this? I mean,
Sure, why not?
I don't understand
Yeah,
why
I'll
we need
check
to give him any kind of let's just leave him as Jimmy Olsen, the goofy sidekick.
I think it's becoming a CW thing on the whole now because like every one of those shows is becoming a team show now. Flash has his group, Arrow has his group. Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow, which used to be the only thing the Legends had going for them was that they're a team show. Now everyone's
what I'm discovering, and I'm actually gonna agree with CW on this one. So if the four of us were a superhero team, and Rob was the superhero, and the three of us did nothing but assist since the dawn of time. I think Rob's like, yeah, I'm the superhero. If I was given some option to be a superhero with Rob, I probably would just take it.
Yeah, wouldn't.
I would not.
I would put us in dangerous
so
situations.
you'd be
like,
That's what I'm
guys,
saying.
You'd
Rob
be
is going to
Felicity.
put us in danger.
You'd be Felicity. I'd be Diggle. Is what it would be.
I'm like,
give me
hey,
a helmet. I
Can
don't
be
care if it's
Cisco?
bulletproof.
Can I make
I'm
jokes?
going.
Can I be Cisco?
Yeah, you're Cisco.
Yay, I'm Cisco.
but hey, I need you guys at my
Guard the
side.
base, because something's coming back to the base. I'm going home.
I would not do anything erroneous. I would be like, guys, look, I know you guys don't have powers. Yes, I'm Green Arrow. I have super accuracy. I can hit an aspirin. You know, when you flick it 20 feet in the air, like I can do that
Super
because
brooding.
because I'm that good. I know you guys don't have any real abilities, but what we need to do is we need to go to this fortress and we need to take out the 500 people who are occupying it. Let's go! Like,
I love how I hate the Diggle character, and I'm like, I would be Diggle.
which by the way, if you guys are not watching Arrow right now, you guys should. It's actually gotten
I was
better.
actually going to ask you guys because it's the one show I haven't jumped back on. Well, that and Gotham, but I mean, I don't think anyone's watching Gotham this season.
No.
Okay, for the record, with the Gotham thing, season 2 was amazing, and then they let it fall off again, and I don't feel like No, the Rise of the Villains, we got their Joker and stuff like that. That was amazing.
Shut
up. It was good.
Man. I don't know.
Shut up. It was
I don't
good.
know about that.
I enjoyed the Red Hood thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
the
it had
Red
some
Hood
good
was
stuff.
the one genuinely great episode. I will say that was a good episode.
I don't even want to try it with season 3 again because I feel like Gotham's just a roller coaster. Amazing!
It is.
Amazing!
It feels like they have different people write every week, and those
Yeah.
people didn't watch the episodes that preceded them.
So anyway, but yeah, I was gonna ask you guys how Green Arrow's doing because it's the only other one I haven't been watching at this moment. So
Didn't watch it.
well,
It's
because
doing
Green Arrow's
pretty
always
solid.
been like Green Arrow. I feel like every season starts out amazing, and I almost feel like they should end it like a Netflix show at 12 episodes. Because they always get to a point where it just seems like, all right, I get it. He's fucking depressed, and everyone's not friends with him again, and they're all mad, and woohoo,
No, I think
Oliver, I'm
that
so
when
sorry.
they sat down with this new season, I think they were like, okay, look, like the last 3 seasons or whatever season they're on now, like 4, I don't remember how many they're on now, but it was like, the last seasons that we've had, like it's been the same people, it started to grow stale. Let's switch things up. And so like Thea is running the company now, but she's not. She's a mayor rather, but she's not like. I think she's a mayor, but she's not like the head. Like she's not active as part of Arrow's team. Felicity's still there, but Diggle's not around. Like they pretty much got rid of most everybody in the supporting cast, and he's creating a new team for himself.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
kind of like a soft reboot, but it
To
works.
take the pressure
Well,
off
they-
him.
they've
Hey, Aaron, you're
said
not
that if-
interesting anymore.
Yeah, no, they've said that if they don't get views this season, it's over. They're gonna end
Yeah.
Arrow at season 5.
It probably should have ended even before this, I think.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think it was just a matter of writing. Like I think it was just a matter of struggling to figure out the Green Arrow character, because I think that once they wrote it, once they started and they were like, okay, we're 2 seasons in, he was basically Batman. Well, how do you come back from
He
that?
still is
You can't-
poor man's Batman.
Someone
yeah, but
said that
you
it already
can't-
got renewed for a 6th season. I'm just checking real fast to see if that actually happened.
I mean, like, I'm not saying get rid of Amel completely. Just have him do cameo appearances. The most I dug him was in Legends when he showed up and was basically in the bulk of that episode.
By the way, I watched that dude. He was awesome. It's like an older guy. He's like, I'm just pissed at the world. It's like, damn, dude. Like, was that him?
Yeah, that was him.
That was him. Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to make sure I had that right because I'm actually mixing up with an older story where they ended up jumping through time. Comic rather, where they ended up jumping through time and they ran into an older version of Oliver Queen. But no, I think that was the issue. They sat down and they said, okay, this clearly isn't really working well. People want something else because I think they were comparing it to Flash. They were looking at how popular Flash was, but they couldn't just
that's
suddenly
obvious
have
because
Stephen Amell be happy.
season 4 and season 2 of Flash both went the comic booky route. I mean, the fact that season 4 opened up with, all right, I'm not Arrow, I'm Green Arrow, and check it out, I can talk at a few higher octaves.
Well, la-di-da.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, you can't have him suddenly just be making jokes and be happier and be more lighthearted and be silly.
Work.
Like they've got to work towards that direction because they've kind of established him as the dark and broody guy now. So that I think was kind of the issue they ran into was they literally just kind of wrote themselves into a hole in terms of character development. So, I don't know.
What annoys me is that every other show seems to need to render unto Arrow every so often. Like even Flash is like, oh geez, I got a problem. I better run over to the Arrow show and ask them about what's going on. Hey guys, tell me what to do. I love you so much.
So anyway, to confirm confirmation on season 6, no, it's not confirmed that it's season 6, but they actually are talking about it finally.
Right.
The last I had heard, though, CW said that if the ratings didn't go back up for season 5, which almost never happens on a TV show, like the later seasons getting a spike, they're going to close it out there. But there is talks about what they would do if they get to season 6. So, okay, that moves us on to... I had it pulled up. No, we're not going to talk about that last one you got, because I feel like that's just kind of dumb.
It's I mean, hey, I didn't know how much you guys got to talk about last week.
No, you're fine. There's not much to go on with that. It's just the variant covers for special monsters and the one shots. So not much to talk about with that Monsters Unleashed until it starts coming out. So let's talk about the other hot topic that came out today. So here's the deal. Joe Manganiello, I probably said that horrible, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Joe Mumbo Italiano, yep.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
We already know that he's going to star as the Deathstroke actor in the currently titled The Batman movie. Now, here's the deal, because everyone's freaking the fuck out, saying, Anna Kendrick is Robin. Everything that I've read, and I've been looking this entire podcast to see if there's any confirmation, those are rumors. It is not confirmed that she is it. So the way this rumor started is Joe, a really long Italian name, took a picture with her, and he is fighting to get her to be Robin. But she is not confirmed to be Robin. Now, to tie into this rumor, Ben Affleck said they may be changing The Batman's title again. So the current running rumor is they're changing the title to Dark Knight Rises, and she'll play Carrie. Or it's Carrie Kelly, right?
You mean Dark Knight Returns? We already had a Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Now, but here's what I want to do. The but. I've yet to find actual confirmation. It's just Joe, really long Italian name, is fighting for it, and Anna Kendrick says she wants to do it, and Ben Affleck said he's changing the name of the movie. And that all coming together has now started the whirlwind rumor storm of she is going to be Robin.
I don't believe for a second DC and Warner Brothers would even roll the dice on a Robin. I think if they were going to do Robin, they would have done him by now, and it's been forever.
Well, they did technically. He's dead. We've got this. We got confirmation of that.
Right, yes.
Was he dead, or was Batman imagining that?
Well, if you play Batman VR, everything's an imagination in his head.
That's fair.
To be honest, like I could see, I would think Anna Kendrick would play a better Stephanie Brown than she would Carrie Kelly.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if they were I feel like going the Carrie Kelly route would be way too much of a reach for DC. Here's my argument against doing that. Just because it's popular does not mean it'll make a good movie. We've already had it as a cartoon. We've already had it as multiple comic books and sequels. I feel like what we need is the DCEU's definitive Batman movie. Not the future, not Carrie Kelly. We need the definitive Batman movie before we can do a future take on him. As much as people hate it, Man of Steel is this is our Superman. Here is his story. We don't have that with Batman.
No, but at the same time, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because Affleck is so much older and he's clearly been doing this. So like, it's difficult to have the definitive movie when he's already seemingly done so much already. You know, like it's easy for them to stumble into doing this whole like Dark Knight Frank Miller universe because they're like, no, he's already done things and now he's gritty and angry. It doesn't make it right.
I mean, I don't think it'd be a good idea at all to mix those two. What I think
No,
they
I
should
don't
do is
either.
even do it the Wolverine method. We spend the next 10 years establishing this Batman. Yeah, he's been roaming and doing his thing for years ahead of everyone. That's fine. You can do that. He's the oldest in the group. I'm on board with that. We need to get at least one normal Robin or just no Robin. Like we just leave it with he had Dick Grayson and then he left and then we had Jason Todd and he died and we just leave it. Like that's the end of that. And we just move forward from there. And then we do it like Wolverine style where they're doing Old Man Logan like 10 years after the first movie. We establish our Batman so when we see this dark and gritty, it's gonna look different.
They'll just make her Batgirl. They'll just make her Barbara Gordon.
Yeah,
Just
I
be
see that.
Forget it. There you go.
Also, to as much as I like Carrie Kelly and I do enjoy her, she is still an Elseworld, out of continuity Robin.
Yeah.
And when you make that the official sidekick in your new official film franchise, in my mind, in my weird comic booky mind, I will always look at this universe as the Elseworld of the DC.
Well, yeah, as much as
universe.
people like to say Carrie Kelly's in the future, that is not the established timeline.
No.
That
No, it
is an
isn't.
Elseworld story.
They've already made like allusions to it just simply by giving him the armor, like simply by putting him in the thing that's from the book. They're already like, we're looking at that. We're looking at that story, obviously.
I mean, it depends on how she's written, though. I mean, if they give her like the actual Dark Knight Returns Carrie Kelly as she was written by Frank Miller, like Carrie Kelly could actually be pretty refreshing. She would offset how dark the movie's going to be, assuming they take the actual Frank Miller approach.
The big reason why I don't see that happening is unlike Marvel, where they're basically like, the comics and the movies don't match at all, and who gives a fuck? DC so far has been keeping shit in line with how it should be. Like, we don't have Thor as a big blonde-haired man on the movie and then a woman in the comic. We have Batman as Batman in both of them. Superman is Superman in both of them. You know? Like, and I feel like if they started doing the movie universe is totally separate to the point of different Robins, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't think
but
I don't
that could
see
be
that
a good
happening.
thing or a bad thing, because what happens if Batman starts to go stale? Like people are like, well, let's write a different story about it. Well, you can't do that because remember, like Bruce Wayne's Batman in the movies. You got to keep him Bruce Wayne. You can't make him somebody else. You can't have Bruce Wayne's back broken. You know, you can't have John Paul Valley take his place. It's got to be Bruce Wayne because he's Bruce Wayne in the movies.
I don't know.
Like,
They made him Bruce Wayne in the comics again, right around the time of Batman v Superman.
Funny how that happened.
That's true, but what happens if the movies start dropping off? Or I mean, that's why I really
But
like
I
the
think we're
idea
too
of the
early.
Marvel
We're too
Cinematic
early in the
Universe, but I don't-
DCEU to even risk changing things up.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I mean
Okay.
Thor changed out, but that was like 5 years after Thor came out. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're also terrified of putting Robin in the movies.
Oh,
You know what I
God, yeah.
mean? Like,
I don't
think
think
about
we'll
the
ever
last
see it in our
time
lifetime.
you saw an actual live-action Robin on the big screen.
Yeah.
Chris
Well, because I
O'Donnell.
Poor
You know what I
Chris
mean? Like,
O'Donnell.
could you imagine, like, trying to get producers and executives on board for that when that's
They
what they
wouldn't go
have
for
to
it.
look at?
Yeah, well, you know what? If you're gonna put a Robin in the movie, you know which Robin you put in the movie? You put in Damian Wayne. That's the Robin.
He is
that
the
you pick.
newest.
Like, not even just because he's the newest, because like Damian Wayne fits in perfect with the tone of the DC
With the Snyder
cinematic universe.
person.
Oh, he
Yeah.
really does. Yeah.
Can
He
you
fits in
imagine
perfect.
trying to explain that to a non-comic book reading
Oh, their
audience?
eyes would cross.
Here's
No,
a 9-year-old
I'm telling
kid
you right
who's
now,
like
if
assassin.
Damian Wayne shows up in the DCEU, his origin is going to be so condensed.
Yeah.
They would just be like, he's adopted.
Yeah.
No.
That's
I
what-
can say it right now. I could see it right now. His origin would be down into like 3 sentences where they would just be like, "Yeah, he's Bruce's son. Who's the mom? We don't talk about that." And that's just it.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
they're like, and we're done.
absolutely right. Because like if they did that, like Ra's al Ghul hasn't been introduced, Talia al Ghul's not there. Because they're not there. There's no information about any of them. So it's like, well, once upon a time, Bruce was tricked into like, well, not really tricked. Like Talia al Ghul knocked him out and banged him, and that was it.
No. He was raped. That's literally what happened.
Okay, fine. Okay, once upon a time, Bruce Wayne was raped. I didn't know how they depicted it in the comics.
Oh
I
no,
never read Son of
he
Batman.
was raped, and he was even like, "This is wrong."
Okay.
I mean, he didn't get
Okay.
that upset about it, but he was definitely like, "This was not right."
Okay,
Yeah.
so then give that in the movie. Like tell me that in a 10-minute segment in the movie. Hey Bruce, where'd Damian Wayne come from? Well, I was raped by Talia al Ghul, and then she kept the child hidden from me for 9 years,
This is
and
where,
then
like-
she kidnapped me and took me to a cave and showed me this kid. And it's
The
like,
outsider's like,
well,
okay,
that's fucked up.
no, adopted. Great, that sounds awesome. Okay, cool. Moving on.
We'll go with that.
Yeah,
Man,
that would make a funny segment.
I just really, and I feel like I'll never see it in my lifetime. I just really, really want a movie version of Robin's Reckoning, that great two-parter from Batman the Animated Series, where they really hit home the importance of the Batman-Robin relationship and why they need each other and everything. I feel like we're never going to see that movie. And
No,
that
as a matter of fact, DC is shitting on the sidekick thing. I just watched an episode of Teen Titans Go, a very definitive way of looking at how the comic book universe functions.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely.
But I was just watching one where they were talking about them being sidekicks to all their superheroes, and Robin's like, "No, that gets really weird really fast," and then it just shows him giving Bruce a foot rub.
Wow. Wow.
And for those of you guys wondering, yes, Teen Titans Go is the definitive show to show you how comic books should function. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
It was definitely the definitive show of New York Comic Con, because that's all Cartoon Network was playing when we were out there.
Okay, now you guys can agree with me. Every time I go out somewhere, the goddamn show is on repeat on Cartoon Network.
It was you could either watch Teen Titans Go on Cartoon Network or Nothing But Law and Order SVU on the USA Network. I chose SVU, which was a weird feeling for my first time in New York watching.
I went with Teen Titans Go. I was watching it again.
To watch when you're in New York.
Yeah, I know you went with Teen Titans Go, Benny. You didn't turn the damn thing off. Like the entire time we were in the hotel room, he was watching. I got out of the shower and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And he's like, "It's Teen Titans Go." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know what it is. Why is it on?" He's like, "Because it's Teen Titans Go."
No. I responded with, "It's the only thing to put on, and I like to have the TV on."
Well, geez, Rob, if you want, we can watch the presidential debate later if you want. That's
really.
also on.
That was probably one of the greatest moments at New York Comic Con when I said that in front of the 400 people. I was like, "Yo, Teen Titans Go, something, something, something." Everyone's like, "Boo!"
Way to not
that
understand your audience, Betty.
That was hilarious.
So, you want to hear something funny? Remember when we were talking about
Your phone's so
Iceman
large.
and Weapon X?
Yeah.
Apparently, Sal IM'd me because he had something to say about that.
Oh, let's double back. What do you have to say about it?
He said Iceman and Weapon X are probably pilot books to see how single X-Men books can perform. If they sell well, you'll probably see a Cyclops book and maybe a heavier emphasis on X-Men in general.
So does it mean Sal's watching us right now?
I don't know.
Is he in the
I
bed
don't
right
know.
now, like half dead with us on his phone? Fucking guys. You guys are fucking, you don't know what you're talking about.
Get well soon, Sal, wherever you
Also,
are.
by the way, good thing like it wasn't like a cry from help from anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying attention to my phone right now at all.
It wasn't like Sal's like, "I fell out of bed and I'm in my own vomit and I need your
Like-
help. I think I'm
Or
gonna
like
die."
Danielle's like, "I'm trapped under a bookcase. I need you to help me." I'm like, blah 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 blah.
Does that happen a lot? Does Danielle just get trapped under bookcases?
Yeah, it happens time to time.
There was one. Oh, so anyway, back to the Carrie Kelly thing. For those of you guys who are like, "She's been confirmed," it's not. It's just another rumor running wild at the moment. We'll see.
It's running wild.
I mean,
I don't
I'll be
like the
honest,
idea
I would
for
not
being
be
in
adverse to it. I'd love to see. I'd love to see like a Carrie Kelly or Stephanie Brown. I'd be down with it.
All right.
Why not?
It'd be a cool concept. I mean, like I said,
And
Carrie
Danielle
Kelly really
responds with,
offset
"It's true. She fights with bookcases often."
Oh man.
Nice.
Okay, so do we have anything else that came out? I know you guys in the chat. Let us know while we kind of just chat for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else watching Channel Zero?
Oh,
that?
that's the horror anthology, isn't from Landis, where he's basically doing all the creepypastas.
Well, he's just a producer on it essentially. And there's a guy named Chris Straub. He's a webcomic writer. He wrote like Slipstream Crisis and a couple of other things.
Yeah.
And he wrote a story, a creepypasta called Candle Cove. So basically, Sci-Fi
About
went
the
ahead
creepy channel, yeah.
Yeah, and essentially they took these stories and they have made essentially they're like 6-episode series essentially out of it, like seasons or whatever. So they're going to do Candle Cove and they're going to do another one after that.
Interesting.
So
I feel like I
Oh,
should watch
wow.
it now because I'm hearing
it's the thing with all the teeth. It's the teeth monster.
Oh no, not the teeth.
Trevia
Okay.
says we
All
didn't talk
TNT.
about Renew Your Vows. Okay, I'm just gonna say this once, and then that's the point of this whole thing. If we've already talked about a topic, there's no we've talked about Renew Your Vows before. We're not gonna talk
We
about it every
can't
week.
re-talk about it.
We're not gonna talk about it every week because you want us to talk about Renew Your Vows. It's not out yet.
There's nothing new to mention. We'll talk about it when it comes out.
Right, it's
Right?
not out yet. There's nothing to talk about.
Check the
As I'm
poll
on
when
this
that's
rant,
due.
I am checking the last week to make sure no news came out.
Like just something come out. Oh my god.
Yeah. look-
By the way, Saga 39 comes out October 26th. Whoever said that in the chat.
Okay. We'll do this last one. They wanted to know your expectations, Tiffany,
For
Doctor
Strange?
Yeah.
I expect that it better be awesome. I have literally, I'm not looking at anything else anymore. I'm avoiding any extra TV spots, any extra trailers, any extra information. I've stopped. I'm putting myself on like a hiatus from it because I want to go in and not have much more spoiled. You know what I mean? Like someone actually tweeted at me today and was like, "Did you hear the theme that like apparently they released his like music?" And I was like, "I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it when I'm in the movie.
Right.
Like I want to go to the theater and I want to have as much of an experience just there as I can." But that last trailer sold me. They're gonna do magic. They're calling it magic. They're calling it mysticism. Yes, I'm in.
And they featured the Time Stone.
I'm actually 100% on board with you.
I know.
I actually
I'm a little upset about that.
I don't like watching any previews or trailers to the movies because I like to go in with my own expectations, and I also don't read anyone's reviews on any movie I know I'm going to see until I get out and I have my opinions. Because my opinion is that when you see it, when you get other people's opinions, it already predisposes you to think that way.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah, it's called confirmation bias.
God help us if that movie is bad. We're going to hear news reports and parts of Jersey are on fire tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
As a woman
you
in
hear the
glasses.
screams from New Jersey.
Tiny woman is just yelling. We don't know what's going on, but she just keeps screaming.
No, okay, so Legends of Tomorrow gave us our first look at Our Man returning with the JSA team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which actually looks pretty solid.
Yeah, they do look pretty good.
Yeah, it looked pretty interesting.
I like that's the thing for Legends of Tomorrow. No one likes our team. What do we do? We'll introduce a new, better team that people can follow. There you go.
See, I'm surprised they're not going with like Alan Scott because it looks like they're going with Commander Steel, Our Man, Stargirl. Citizen Steel. No, well, they're calling him Commander Steel in this one.
Oh well. There's two Haywoods because there's the younger Haywood and then there's probably the other Haywood who's Commander.
Yeah, and then Stargirl, and then I guess a different iteration of Vixen. But yeah, like I'm surprised. I thought they were going to go with like Alan Scott. I was really hoping we'd see Alan Scott.
I think they might have Green Lanterns earmarked for something else because the Dominators are going to be the villains to cross over all these shows. So don't be shocked if something Green Lantern doesn't show up at the end.
Huh.
I gotta say, it sounds like Rob's really obsessed with Alan Scott. It sounds like he's got a thing based on the number of times he said his name.
Alan Scott. Yeah,
you want to see Alan Scott, Rob?
Alan Scott and the Alan Scott.
Strong name. It's a good, strong name, Alan Scott.
He does Alan Scott stuff where he has the Alan Scott ring that allows him to Alan Scott people.
He's a verb. He's a noun. He's everything.
Yeah. Every time he uses his ring and he's like Alan Scott. And like,
now he's a Pokemon?
Apparently.
Pokemon. Alan Scott, I choose you.
Alan Scott used Alan Scott.
And a side note, if you're watching this right now, the guys behind the DC Legends app game on my 276 people viewing, please send me the game early. I will play it on my channel. I really want to play this. Send me the DC Legends app game so I can yell, Alan Scott, I choose you.
Nice.
Oh, man.
You were probably all sitting there like, where is this coming from? Just so I can yell, Alan Scott, I choose you. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Alan Scott. Like, dude, that sounds... Dude, let me tell you something. I would so read, like an Earth 2 comic, or I haven't been reading Earth 2 Society. Is Alan Scott in that? Or did they go back to the original Justice Society?
Yeah, he's still there. The original Justice Society hasn't come back yet.
Dude, I would be so down if he's like, hey guys, I have a new battle cry. They're like, what's that? He's like, I say my name. And so like Darkseid and his forces show up and he's like, let's get him, guys. Alan Scott. Like,
Good job, Leroy.
Bob's catchphrase, like.
Oh man. Yep.
That's
Like, okay.
That's how you end all your videos. Instead of saying peace.
Yeah.
Just
Alan
say,
Scott.
Alan Scott.
Rob just pimps on into a room.
You need to
Alan
start
Scott.
doing that. You need to end every DC video with Alan Scott out.
And with that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end, and I will catch you guys later. Alan Scott.
Stay Alan Scott.
That would be
Stay
the greatest inside joke ever, where you just start
Oh, man.
getting your viewers involved, and they're just gonna be like, "What is this?" I'm gonna start ending.
Like, people would just start saying it.
Dude, we should both start doing that from now on.
I
I'm
will do
ending
that.
every video with, "All right, guys, and you can catch me on Twitter at Comicstorian and Alan Scott."
Alan Scott.
And then the news gets
Alan
back to
Scott.
DC, and they're like, "Man, we're getting a lot of groundswell for Alan Scott. People are just loving him right now on the
It
internet.
becomes like a
What should we
trending
do?
topic.
Why is everybody Googling Alan Scott? What the fuck's going on?
Should we give him a new solo series? What should we do?"
That's how we'll know if it's taking effect. Is suddenly it's like this week's solicitations, Alan Scott, the Green Lantern #1. And it's like, Kenny, we did it, man.
I'm doing that. That is legitimately how I'm closing out every one of my
I'm
videos.
gonna- yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're
do
doing
that.
it now.
That's
You
gonna
got
be
everyone
awesome.
do it. That's the thing now. Sal's not here, so we're going to take his silence as an agreement.
Alan
do it.
Scott.
And remember,
Alan
everybody,
Scott.
always Alan Scott.
He was like, why is everybody saying Alan Scott at the end of their videos?
Just mess with everybody's minds.
Alan Scott. Anyway, yeah, what does everybody have going on this week? 'Cause I think we're kind of wrapping this podcast up now.
No,
Since we're just
I
kinda
don't- what,
rambling
you
on.
want to leave, Rob? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I mean, I gotta record stuff.
I got.
I gotta,
Actually,
I gotta
I've got a
record
lot
the
of work
death
to
of
do.
Galactus.
I'm doing a brand deal for funny side note. You guys, I know you all hate brand deals, but whenever I get a brand deal, you get a very creative video out of me because I try to make it so that the video is something you'd want to watch.
Aw.
So,
See, I'm very transparent about it when I do them. Hey, look at the cool shit these people sent me.
oh no, I always do that. This video is brought to you and sponsored by these guys right here. Here's the video. But it's for okay. For those of you guys who don't know much about me, I'm very addicted to app games on my phone.
No.
Like legitimately.
Yes.
Like these guys will see, like we'll go do things, and I'm just playing it. We were at the Final Fantasy Fan Festival in Las Vegas, and during all of the conferences, I was auto attacking on Summoner's War to do things. So they
Shit, you actually got to go to that. You actually got to go to the Final Fantasy Fan Fest.
yeah, I did. But
Oh,
so
that's wicked.
I don't normally promote the app games though, because normally the ones that they want me to promote are things that I wouldn't play, because I refuse to promote anything that I wouldn't do myself, even if I don't have
Right.
time. Like the Gemmer deal, I like the idea of Gemmer. I just don't have time to keep up with the Gemmer or the Comics Amino. I would love to do that if I had time to do it. So I only promote apps that I'll play. So for the last 2 days, I got offered to do a deal with Best Fiends Forever. So it's
Fun name.
basically Clicker Hero, where you load up and you just start tapping everything. And so I just do this.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm getting at is, because I don't like just doing a video about these things, because no one wants to watch that, so what's the point? They're getting a video out of me, and I wanted to get your 3. The thing that I'm asking is,
Oh, this will
what-
be good.
what is missing from DC Rebirth that you want? That's my list I'm making. The things I want in Rebirth that aren't there. Brought to you by Best Fiends Forever.
And Alan Scott.
and Alan Scott.
Always Alan Scott.
See, look, I'm trying to, is this just a clicker game? See?
How strong is your index finger now after all that exercise?
It's 5.68 billion. I know you were trying to make a funny pun, but the index finger's actually got a level marker on it, so
Oh, shit, for real. I did not know that.
I'm about to break the boss down, see? So what are you guys missing from DC Rebirth? For me, it's Shazam and Martian Manhunter. That's
Ooh,
definite.
yeah.
Yeah, Martian
They're probably
Manhunter.
going to get minis. If Captain Atom can get a mini, I imagine those two, and probably Booster Gold will get a mini.
Yeah. I would say I like Shazam. I think the interesting thing about Shazam, he's got such an interesting history because it almost seems to fall parallel with Wonder Woman. But I like the idea of having a Superman who's also just a kid and who can just so easily be killed. All he does is say one word and suddenly he's Superman.
Yep.
Like, I like having that dichotomy.
He'll probably get something around the new movie. I would like to see Roy Harper hang out with the Green Arrow family a little bit more. I like that he's back with the Teen Titans, his surrogate family, and he's doing his thing over there. But just like, hey, come back and say hi. Green Arrow's good again.
They're actually also saying they want an Alan Scott emote.
Oh,
Y'all can make that happen.
You guys can give us that email whenever you want to signal the end of a topic. Guys, stop talking about that. Alan Scott.
Alan Scott out.
That was good.
I'm
But yeah,
totally on board, by the way, with Martian Manhunter. I'd
I'd
like
love to
his
see him come
character.
back. Shazam would be great. Some classics like Plastic Man would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Green Arrow's
Yeah.
kid. I miss Connor Hawk.
Oh, yeah, me too. I also
Plastic
miss
Man, you mean like DC's Reed Richards?
Yeah, exactly.
Good old Elo O'Brien. They set him up in Forever Evil. They showed us like the accident that created him. Then they never did anything with him.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything. Death of Hawk. I was gonna say Hawkman, but then they announced the book, so
It's true.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is Death of Hawkman a part of Rebirth, or is that just something separate?
They seem to be. All these minis seem to be tied in, but far enough removed.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question, but thank you.
I'm just saying
they
yes
seem
and
to
no
be,
depends.
but they're also really far, so they're not really.
Yeah.
And we're gonna close this pot. Okay, so since you guys, that was it. But, oh dear, comic book mobile games, future fight, contest of champions is so shamelessly pay to win it. Now, I will agree with you on that one, Master Buttons. I play these games typically till I hit the wall where you have to pay, and that's what turns me off on them. Contest of champions, I hit that wall and gave up. But Summoners War, I haven't hit it yet.
Give it time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so before we head out, Last thoughts on you like how I'm still going here? Last thoughts on Rogue One trailer.
Oh my God,
dude.
Rogue One.
Okay,
my God.
dude. No, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, man. Let me. Man. All right, people. I have never been so hyped for Star Wars, and here's the reason why. With Episode 7, we knew it was going to be. It was going to be a continuation of what we saw with Episode 6. We knew it was going to be something after the Return of the Jedi. All right, like Leia was going to be old, and we knew that Han Solo was going to be old. They probably had kids, whatever. One of them would be a bad guy. All right, and then we knew that kind of stuff was going to happen.
Good job, Jason Solo.
Jason Solo. With Rogue One. Like, I think this is going to be one of the best movies ever to come out of the Star Wars universe, because you got Vader. You got Darth Vader, and he's going to be the main villain. All right, you have them taking plans. You have them taking plans for it sets the stage for Episode 4. It's a prequel. We have no idea where they're going to go with it. It's just uncharted waters, and I'm wildly excited for this.
I like.
Plus, there's no Jedi.
That too, it looks new, it looks different, it looks grimy and dirty. Like, if Force Awakens was, very clean and everything, this is like this is almost like D-Day for the rebellion. You see them getting blown up and everything. And another thing I like about it, this trailer was kind of sad and kind of melancholy, and I'm like, oh, we don't see any of these characters after this, do we? They're all probably going to die.
Every one of these characters is going to die.
They're going to die.
And we
It's
should
like
not
the end
forget
of
that.
Star Wars Rebels. You're like, this can't end well.
No, it can't. And I gotta
None of these
tell you,
characters can make it. They're doomed by canon.
I know Rob said that he has not been, like, this is the thing he's the most excited about for Star Wars, essentially. But for me, The Force Awakens was because that was the scariest thing we went into, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not a fan of the new trilogy, even remotely. I'm not a fan of the prequels at all, right? So going into that one, I was on the edge of my seat, because, like, this was a make or break moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Disney had so many plans, and we were either going to have to suffer through it, or we're going to enjoy it. And since I enjoyed the hell out of Force Awakens, and I thought they had a very gritty, lived-in universe, and I was excited for that, this movie, I am entirely excited to see a cast of people who at any moment could die, and it doesn't matter. And, like,
Yes.
I can't wait to see what they do with them, because, like, this is a suicide mission, and we all know it.
Well, that's the plot.
I know.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I love about that. Like, you don't.
Many Bothans died.
I know. It's like okay.
Many-
It's not like this at all. But, like, when you think about it, there are certain movies that you already know the ending to. For example, any movie that deals with Jesus Christ, any movie that deals with, like, certain boats, you know how it's going to end,
Oh yeah, the boat ain't making it back.
right? Like,
yeah, you say that until they release, till Fox releases, like, Jesus, the Untold Story. It's like, and then he lived.
exactly.
Because he
right?
was on a
But
boat.
I'm saying,
In my version, Jesus wins.
you go into those movies, like, having, like, a certain mindset, right? Which is not a mindset we typically have going into a Star Wars film. And I'm so excited to have a completely different experience that I've ever had before in a Star Wars movie.
And it just
That's
looks
it.
so cool, too, from the designs and everything. Everything looks iconic, and that's
Oh
a
my
word I
God.
don't throw around a lot.
I know, and I know I've already mentioned it, but damn, the chick who plays Mon Mothma just looks like Mon Mothma.
Pitch perfect.
Like, wow.
I'm excited. I love Star Wars in general, though. Like, I mean, Disney could probably, like, print Star Wars napkins, and I'd be like, I got Darth Vader napkins. What?
Oh, they will. If it's anything like when Force Awakens came out and it was around Christmas, we'll probably see a bunch of new Rogue One
well, for the
merchandise.
record, for those, and I'm gonna leave with because what you just said. I'm gonna leave this on the note for everyone to have a look at. So basically, if you want to know the worst merchandising op I've ever seen, go look up BB-8 oranges.
I
yeah.
saw those. Yes, I remember.
BB-8
Damn.
oranges. Yeah.
That
They're
was
just going
pretty
for it.
shameless.
They're swinging for the fences. That one.
Hold
But
on.
yeah,
God,
I
they're
can't
shameless.
wait. We're going to see a Grand Admiral.
Wow.
We're going to see a Grand Admiral, guys.
Who's not Thrawn?
Yeah. Guys.
Well, not only that, I mean, it's got some strong, like, we got Donnie Yen.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
Hell yeah. Like, we've
Beating
got Forrest
people with a
Whitaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all
He's like,
assume
we-
that he's, by the way, not Forrest Whitaker, but Donnie Yen, that we assume that he's probably Force sensitive, but not a Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Which
Right?
is a cool
Like,
idea.
he's just very spiritual, right?
That's what I assume, because he talks about the Force. So I assume he's
does.
not, but he looks like he has like a Force pike, which is probably what he's using for a weapon. So
Yeah.
We got Mads
I mean-
Melkinson building the Death Star.
Yeah. And we have
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk playing the voice of a droid.
Yes.
So excited.
Hey, you got Firefly
Like,
in my Star Wars. Good job.
I know. I know.
Okay, well, end it because this guy's freaking out in the chat, but we're going to end it here with this. Yes, the Justice Society is officially in the second episode of Legends of Tomorrow.
Sure is.
Yes.
Alan
The other
Scott.
thing, the only other thing that like this movie needs, all right, Alan Scott. The only other thing that this movie needs.
I don't like Stargirl.
The
I
Force
don't like
Awakens
how Stargirl works, but that's
The only other thing we need in this movie is we need like 80s bad guy. All right, we need Al Leong,
Alan
whatever it is.
Scott?
The guy. No, not Alan Scott. the guy who played the bad guy in every 80s movie ever. That Asian guy. You guys know what I'm talking about? 80s bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
There was a homeless guy down in Phoenix Park. We used to call him 80s bad guy because he looked like that dude. But like that's the guy we need. Like we need him to be in this movie.
I
All
thought
right,
you were
and
gonna
on
say-
that note, why don't we go ahead and start closing out, Tiffany, with you taking point. Say your
okay.
final thoughts and then what Comic Pop
Oh,
is
no,
doing
no.
this
All I
week.
was going to say was I thought that Rob was going to say the only thing we're missing from this movie is us being in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like
That's true
that.
too.
Right? That's it.
I don't
That's
need
true.
a big part. Just put me in there. I'll be Cantina guy number 3. It's fine.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
okay,
Oh, man.
Tiffany,
Yes.
what is Comic Pop doing this week?
That's a great question.
Because
So,
last week you guys did Baltimore and New York.
That's right. Yeah, we kind of forgot we had our Baltimore video that had never went out. We're like, oops. So put that out. Tomorrow will be Elseworlds Exchange, and then later that evening, back issues will drop, which will actually be a Green Arrow story. And I was on that one. It's an older one too.
Nice.
It's like a gritty. I'm just gonna tell you, it's Longbow Hunters.
Of course.
You
We said
spoiled
old,
it.
like there's only a couple it
Sal
could be.
never spoils it. You've ruined
I spoiled
Sal's
it.
thing.
I spoiled it. You know what? Sal's not here. That'll teach him.
That'll learn them.
And then we also have a Doctor Strange Powers video coming out, and I narrated that one,
Killer.
Very
Nice.
and I kept myself together.
So, okay, Rob, what are
Hell
you
yeah.
doing? Anything? No? Okay. Joel, what's up?
Yeah, I have shut up. I have
No, you.
shut up, Joel. Joel, I swear to God, man, if you don't do I'm gonna Alan Scott the hell out of you if you don't. So
That's okay.
dude, oh my God, dude, I have so much. So I have the Death of Galactus tomorrow. And then I think I'm gonna do the EX4 Extinction where they killed 16 million mutants. Oh, and then I'm doing the Flash Speed Force lightning colors. That's right, I forgot about that. Apparently there's lightning colors, and then there's Captain America lifting Thor's hammer. Like, I forgot that there were Speed Force lightning colors. Like, I have Ryan writing the script. I don't.
It's his problem, not
But
mine.
yeah, I forgot about that.
You're breaking up like
I was like,
crazy.
have fun,
Your
man.
internet's
Good
going
luck.
to Shit. I think Max is eating your router.
My internet. Max better not be.
All right, Joel, what are you doing this week?
Well,
Shout
if you
out,
check
Joel. On Comicstorian, we're going to be bringing you... No, go ahead.
Motherfucker. Damn motherfucker.
Ooh, getting all Alan Scott up in this bitch, man.
What would Alan Scott do in this situation?
What would Alan Scott do?
He'd probably punch you with his Green Lantern. Yeah, if you check on out the channel tomorrow, brand new episode of the Comic Multiverse. That's the show I do with Matt. I talk all my New York Comic Con adventures and everything over there. Also, hey, Star Wars Rebels is up if you want more Star Wars. That's on the channel right now. And yeah, just a whole week's worth of comics. That's pretty much it. Alan Scott.
That is going to be that's like our and over. In our Comicstorian this week, you're going to get. Let me look at the schedule. Harley Quinn zombie story issues 1 through 3 comes out tomorrow. That's where she fights the alien hot dog zombies thing. Apparently, I was supposed to do What Happened to Young Justice. That's moved to next week because that doesn't exist. Then you're going to get the new Wasp origin, Nadia Pym, on Thursday, along with the Pokemon arc over on Comicstorian. Also, Wednesday is that Heroes of the Storm thing at Eligible Monster, and we're doing Thursday is 50 Facts of Overwatch with Rob. And then Friday
Nice.
is going to be the Overwatch comic that just came out. Then we also have Deadpool versus Gambit on Friday and Monster Musume on Comicstorian. Saturday is going to be Old Man Logan Volume 2. And then we have Harbinger on Sunday. Then next week we're going to do a little bit of Doctor Strange. We're going to do more Attack on Titan over on Comicstorian. Over on Comicstorian we're going to have Flash. And over on Comicstorian we're going to have Tokyo
Jesus.
Ghoul. Over on the... What's that? What?
I was gonna say, are you gonna sleep at all in that time, or just no?
No.
The trick to doing a lot of videos is hiring people.
I was invoking Alan Scott.
Have people write them for you, and it makes life so much easier.
And on that note, we're going to end today's podcast. So I will see you all later with Alan Scott.
Alan Scott.